There she is. It was easy, right?
Volume, so there we go.
Well, is this your massage
Oh
studio?
yeah, it is. I think I've got a skeleton there. There we go.
Oh, nice.
How are you?
I'm ill.
Oh, are you?
Yeah, I've just had to accept it. You know, when you're like, I'm probably ill, but I'm just gonna ignore it, and I ignored it for ages, and now I'm like,
Thanks for giving me a cuddle over the weekend when you were ill. Thanks for that.
yeah, it was probably just in that brewing stage, which is gonna be great for you. Yeah, so I wanted to talk today about staying sassy in the fitness industry, which, funny enough, I actually spoke about at Body Power must have been like 5 or 6 years ago, which was kind of hilarious. Looked up the notes from it, which are quite funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's kind of just about, oh, I wrote like a few little notes on it, but be interested to see what your take on it all is as well with, I guess, can men be sassy? Yes, Lawrence, they can. But I guess what I mean by staying sassy is like not taking yourself too seriously, not getting caught up too much in fitness and how you sort of create balance and things around that. So I feel like you do a very good job of that. And a lot of your posts could be, I don't know, you could be very up yourself, but you're not, which is why I like you. But I guess like how do you find that you have found that balance? Because I guess a lot of people might not know that you compete, you're a personal trainer, you take awesome pictures, you're not shy about like, I guess, showing off what you've created in terms of your physique.
Yeah.
But yeah, cross in like a showy offy way, which is quite a nice balance. But has that just happened, or is that like a purposeful
I don't know, I think
thing?
there is a fine line, isn't there, between flaunting it too much that you look like you're kind of showboating it. But I don't know, I think I like people, I like my followers to see that I like my shape all year round. It doesn't matter if I'm competing and I'm shredded, which is for me is a very unrealistic shape all year round anyway. But I like people to see that I do like and appreciate that shape. But I also like my off season when I'm not competing, and I love being slightly fluffier, chubbier cheeks, and yeah, I like showing it off. And oh my god, who does not love being naked?
Well, apparently a lot of people.
So
I feel like it's
any excuse to get naked, I love it.
yeah, no, that's a good one. And what about, so do you ever get like trolls or like negative comments?
I get quite a lot when I'm in my prep for competitions because I think people think it's quite harsh looking for a female to be quite muscular. You'll be the same. You get people just saying things like, "That's far too manly." That doesn't look.
Or, sorry, like the comments like, that's too much for me.
Yeah, I
So,
get that a lot as well. They say, "Oh, that's far too much for me." I'm like, "Good thing I'm not yours then."
yeah. Oh, in that case, let me change my whole life. Guys.
Yeah, I get a lot of those, but I also get some like strange requests and things from people as well. And I guess they're kind of, in a roundabout way, they're kind of compliments. But
Like what?
I had one last week off of a guy actually. He was like, he sent me a message. I kind of laugh at some of them. They're quite funny. I got one saying, "Did you sit in a pile of sugar because you've got a pretty sweet ass?"
I like that. It's a good one. Good.
I kind of like the effort that's needed to write that.
And on all, yeah, to the effort of actually sending you a message. Reply to that.
I know, some people just, they've got some balls, eh?
Well,
How do you feel though when you get people saying things like, for example, your abs and stuff? How do you feel when they say to you, "Oh, it's too much for a female"?
I guess, like, I kind of get that less now. I don't post as much of my physique as maybe I used to. Um, and I think there's a fine line, and I think a lot of women don't help themselves. A lot of women in the industry like aren't taken very seriously,
Yeah.
but you really expect to be taken seriously if all you put up is like your bum and your boobs, and then no content.
Yeah.
Like I'm saying, don't show it off because if it's brilliant, show it off. Like, and actually body confidence in any way, like I'm all for that. But don't make it the only thing that you're doing. Or
Yeah.
it is like be taken seriously, because you've kind of got to give out both if you want to get any respect from that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess I used to get some pretty funny comments. But I think as well, as much as you can sort of feel like a victim there and be like these people that don't even know me are commenting on me, and actually, if you put pictures of yourself on the internet, what the hell do you expect?
Yeah.
And same as competing, like if you're gonna turn around and be upset at what the judges said or what placing you've got or X, Y, and Z, like you've put yourself in a position to be judged by other people. Don't be upset when people judge you, because it's exactly what you asked them to do. And to some extent, like social media is the same. If you're gonna create a following and you're gonna put pictures up, even not even pictures about you, but like if I put up a post and it's my interpretation of something and someone doesn't agree with that, that's absolutely fine. I want them to ask me about that, or I guess you'd hope in a nice way, but you are always going to get people's opinion. That's kind of what the point of social media is.
Yeah.
So I guess the positives and negatives come together.
Yeah. I think the funny thing I always find is, like, although, for example, I do some really kind of out there photo shoots where I'm stripping off and whatnot.
Follow what we're talking about.
But you know, I like putting them up. I like them. They're quite arty, I guess. But it's amazing, like the amount of likes or whatever you get to that, and then if you post up something that's educational from a female point of view, and it gets probably as little as about like a quarter, it's a wee bit annoying.
I remember a while ago I put up a post and it was like an ab selfie,
Yeah.
but the text was all about how I didn't want to put up ab selfies and I wanted to be like more than that. And it was kind of ironic because I'm sure it got like so many likes, and I'm sure that most people hadn't even read what I was saying. So I was almost saying the opposite of like, it's kind of sad that I'll put up this with absolutely no content, just, oh, here's my abs this morning. Whereas I'll put, you know, like a good half hour into writing an interesting piece or trying to explain something, or, you know, look at some research and try and explain that. And, you know, it gets like a few likes, but I think you have to as well look at the quality of those likes and comments. So, you know, for me, that's my business. So are these people, you know, people that maybe have liked my ab shot, like, are they just creepy old men that would never buy a training program from me? Don't really care. Or are they potential clients? And you're much more like, you know, I'm much more likely to go to a coach if they're putting out good information and I think, okay, they know what they're talking about. Not necessarily, oh, look, there's them in a swimming costume, like, where you just give, you know, you scroll through and you just give a little like. I guess you've got to think about the quality of the following and the quality of the comments as well. But it is very easy to just, I guess, get encouraged by like the amount of followers you have or the interaction or how many likes. Oh, that posted really well, I'll do some more like that. But
yeah, I think it's true. Yeah, you're right. You can get caught up in what gives you the most likes. Right, okay, well, I better do more of that. But I like splitting up a bit and putting something that's about there and then something that's a bit more educational.
And you put your training stuff up as well, which is really good.
My training, did you say?
Yeah, like your workouts.
Yeah, I like putting them up. I like people to see this is how I train. It's although I keep quite a good poker face. Andy might disagree, but it's pretty brutal as well.
So yeah. There are things I wanted to touch on. One is, why did this come up when I was thinking about this? Oh yeah, because I was going to talk about this really funny, I guess kind of like trolling comment that I got once, and it was just like this guy, and he was like, "You're not even strong. Like I could definitely beat you up." And I'm sure at the time I was about like 22 at university, and looked like from his picture like a sort of 40-year-old man, and I was like, what are you getting? Like, of course you could beat me up. Like I'm a young girl. Like what? Anyway, it kind of got me into thinking as well that I don't know what your clients are like, but mine, you know, I train a lot of male clients, and when I was younger, less so now, but when I was younger, I kind of had a lot of respect for them because I thought it must take a lot to listen to a young, fairly inexperienced girl in a gym setting. you know, like they kind of have to leave their ego out of that. And I was always quite impressed by the men that came to me. Like, don't know if do you have a lot of male clients or?
I've probably got more females than males, but I do have a few males, and I would agree with you on that as well, actually, because I think it does take a lot for. I don't know. There's something about a man who's willing to. Oh, it sounds awful, but to accept that this female PT can maybe lift more than me. You know, I'm willing to take expert advice from her, because I do think I don't think we like emasculate them, but it must give them a little bit of, I don't know, a bit of fear that, oh God, this woman can do more than me in the gym.
Yeah, the mindset behind that, and like, be interesting to see any guys watching if if it would put them off having
I mean, I also don't have an issue. See if a guy comes to me and he says, look, I'm sorry, I'm uncomfortable having a female PT. I also actually don't have an issue with that either. If a man said, yeah, I'm sorry, I don't want you as a PT, you're a female, I'd be like, that's completely acceptable, I understand that. I'd probably ask why, but I wouldn't have an issue with it. It's the same with my...
Yeah. I'd more be interested, I'd maybe be like, right, do one session with me and let me prove to you that I'm probably not what you're expecting from a female PT.
Yeah.
But everyone has their own sort of niches, and I remember like first starting when I was training down in London, and obviously like gym owners kind of want personal trainers with different niches. So they want like the hard bodybuilder personal trainer, they want the more endurance-based personal trainer, they want like the soft trainer who maybe does a bit more yoga and things like that.
Yeah.
And he came in and he thought that I was going to be a soft trainer, and he was a bit like, damn it, you're really not, and that's not like we've already got. Anyway, it did work out in the end, but he was like, yeah, I really didn't like your style of training from.
I don't know if is it insulting for you to have a man think that? I don't know. I feel like it kind of is a little bit. He's already judging you before he's even giving you the chance. I'm kind of a bit like,
Someone said, the knowledge of a PT shines out those who on sex or image must be really the 90s. And you ladies are epic. Woo! Yes, great comment. Write that one myself. What else did I want to cover on this? I guess a few things about social media. What would your sort of biggest tips be? Because this is something that I had down as like a few points that I had in my previous body power talk. What would your like tips for social media? I guess like in respect to not getting too overwhelmed by it all. Because I think in fact, you go.
Yeah. Do you know what? It's funny because a lot of people disagree with this. I don't know. Big names in the fitness industry, I know they would disagree with this. I like social media for my business and for work, and I like people to see that I have a little bit of a different side to me out of the gym, because I go and do the photo shoots with Michael around different areas in Edinburgh and get my kit off and things. But I like my family and friends' life completely separate. A lot of people on my social media wouldn't know that I have had a partner for 8 years, but they would never know that because I don't post on social media. I don't like people knowing my business. It's like something for me to keep to myself. But a lot of people would disagree and say that you probably should be posting that stuff on social media to show that you're normal and you're not all work and no play.
I don't know, you're right. There is two sides to it, and I think it totally depends on the individual, and sort of having a balance is very good.
Yeah.
But I guess in some ways, in terms of marketing, you want, people are buying into working with you, so they kind of want to know what you're about.
Yeah.
But I think you give off, like, if I'm critiquing yours right now, like you give off enough of that your personality comes through and that you do other things. So it's not just you in the gym.
Yeah.
It's you on the photo shoots that you enjoy doing. Like there's a bit of banter between you guys who do your training videos and stuff like that. So you are real. It's not like a sort of two set. But then I do like that you keep that personal side separate as well. And that can be like a big barrier or a problem in the for a lot of people. What did I have? Okay, so, and I think the first one I say is remember your goals, because it's so easy, and I've done this so often. Like at the moment, I'm in actually so kind of on some size, but how often do you like come on social media in the morning and someone's like, just doing my morning cardio, and I'm like, should I be doing my like I feel like I'm lazy not doing my morning cardio, but like that's not my goal. I do it. I'm not trying to lose weight. I'm not trying to burn calories. I'm as active as I need to be. But you kind of and you're like, oh, I'm doing that, or someone's posted about prepping for a show. If that's more related to you, but you kind of get caught up in other people's goals, and then you forget that that's not applicable to you at the time anyway. So I think kind of remember that, quite logical and like rational with if it applies to you or not at that time. And then I guess expectations. We always see this, that everything's photoshopped. It's a bit of you're not putting up, always putting up like your best days, aren't you? You're not putting up the hard days. And I think we've already covered that if you are going to have a presence on social media, be prepared to have thick skin, because you will get people that don't like you, and get people that don't like your physique. And they'll feel for some reason the need to mess with you that. Yeah. So we've got a few.
Yeah. Oh, I like that one. Who's that?
Which one?
The reason they started training with you, because quality was were better than others. I saw. You clearly knew your shit.
Paid him to come on and say that before. Yeah, thanks.
Oh, there's Coach. Hi.
Stephen Rowe. I've been trying to get Stephen on for weeks. He keeps
this man doesn't know how to use social media. I'm surprised he knew how to watch this.
I know, I'm quite impressed.
Yeah, I would agree with you on that one actually, because there is days when I wake up and I look on social media and I see there seems to be a flush of competitions at the moment. And they're all in this absolutely pristine condition. And I think, oh crap, I could maybe do with losing a few pounds.
Yeah, or I don't know, someone's doing like a shred up to Christmas or whatever, and you're like, oh, maybe I'll do that. And it's like, no, you're like 6 weeks into like a gaining phase. What do you think? Like,
yeah.
Yeah, but I think.
How are you getting on with your diet and stuff? Are you going well?
Yeah, good. I mean,
are you enjoying it?
Yeah, actually.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do miss being lean though sometimes. I'm not going to lie. I say to my clients quite a lot because they say, oh, do you like this shape better? And I enjoy it more, but I think I do miss being lean. But I think it's that mindset, isn't it? You see everybody else lean.
But knowing that, like, now how to get in shape.
Yeah,
so
that's
if you
true.
just do it, and it's going to take you, 6 to 8 weeks, or, it's not like you're so out of shape that you're so far from that.
Yeah.
Although saying that, you were extremely shredded, so maybe it's more than 6 to 8 weeks.
Yeah, Steve might say otherwise.
So, are you competing this year coming, or?
So I decided not to do the British. I started to I think I fell out of love with it a little bit. After winning the Scottish, loved every minute of that. This prep was a bit harder to continue on for the British, so I think to step away from it was definitely a right decision.
How long was it between the Scottish and the British?
Was it about 14 weeks, maybe? 12 weeks. It's quite a big gap, and I feel staying that lean for that long is quite a long time. Like, takes its toll. I wouldn't say it took its toll physically. It was more mentally, which was more challenging for me. Physically, it's fine. I'm used to eating the same thing. I don't mind that. But yeah, mentally. Oh, Steve's saying 13 weeks. Yeah.
Oh, thank you. Coach Man, if anyone's wondering. Yeah. So I'm just thinking if there was anything else to cover on this one. I think the other thing that comes up with social media a lot is like blindly following people. So say I put up something saying, I don't know, something ridiculous. You could only build strength doing 3 reps or something. And nobody questioned me because I'm an authority. I'm not, obviously, but say I was like someone who is, and nobody questions that. I think that's another issue, that, or they'll see that as almost something they can reference, like, oh, so and so said this, like, so they must be right. And they don't use their head to think about, like, is that actually logical? Is there actually evidence for this? And again, does that apply?
Yeah.
Or even, especially, like, is that a study in my, you know, in the population that applies to me and where I am at the moment? So I think that's another, I guess, area to be skeptical of,
Yeah.
is even if information is put up by who you deem to be a very knowledgeable person, doesn't mean it's always right.
Yeah, there's always one study that goes against another study as well. Do you like it when people question you on the stuff that you put up?
Yeah, I love it.
Do you?
Yeah, it's so much more interesting, but it has to be done in the right way. And I question people too, and I hope that it comes across in like a friendly way and not like I think you're wrong. It's more, you know, it should be like, oh, that's a really interesting concept. I hadn't thought of it like that, but also this side of it. So like I put up something this morning about high intensity interval training.
Mm-hmm.
And releases more endorphins. And I wasn't absolutely saying that it's the best exercise people should do, because obviously it comes back to enjoyment. And even if the science is saying that it might increase more endorphins, some people absolutely hate high intensity interval training, which means they won't do the exercise, which means it's not a beneficial thing. And someone had put, what did they put? I guess they say that, like, you know, you don't enjoy it, but it another form of exercise. That's like sort of the thing. It has to be something you enjoy. So again, like, that was a good little challenge, but she didn't put it in a way that was like, you're wrong, like, I'm right. And I think that happens quite a lot as well. And then people get their back up a bit. They think they're being like attacked in some way.
Yeah.
But yeah, me, I try and challenge him all the time. Like, but he does it in a very good way. So he's like, oh, well, did you think of this? And I know, because I know Stephen, like, I know he's not attacking me as such. He's just like, that's like, that idea is interesting, but what about this approach to it?
Yeah.
Which does, but I'm so glad people do that, because it always creates better content. And it's half the reason that I put stuff up, is because I want to see what other people are going to say.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I'm going to ask a question up that one of my clients asked, and then I'll let you go. So one of my clients messaged me, and she was like, if I'm just looking to build a certain muscle, let's say she's really looking to build her chest. I hope it wasn't chest, but okay, let's do it. It was glutes. And she said, do I need to do, you know, if you can use a machine to isolate a muscle, and that's the muscle you do, you need to be doing compound lifts, and like, what is the benefit of doing compound lifts? Now, I'm going to ignore like extra calories, because obviously you recruit more muscle, you recruit accessory muscles, but you could also argue that these accessory muscles are limiting, so you maybe put as much weight on that if you were doing, say, a bench press instead of a chest press on a machine. So like, what, and I couldn't really answer. I was like, do you know what, you make a brilliant point. Why should you have to do compound lifts, and like, should you have to do them? What would you
Do you know, I think the majority of the female clients that come to me ask to grow their glutes. It's like such a big craze at the moment, eh? Everybody wants that Beyonce bum. I think Steve would probably agree with me as well. I do not enjoy doing squats. I don't like it. I don't know, I hate it. There's something about the movement I don't like. I feel like that instrument, you know, when you squeeze it and it makes that noise. What do you call that?
Yes.
Oh yeah, I feel like that.
Yeah.
But I will do like leg press or hip thrust till the cows come home, and I think I've got a pretty good bum to show for it as well.
I will agree. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know, because I was thinking, you know, like obviously I'd always sort of program compound lifts, and that's mainly because I want to get extra muscles engaged and I want a bit of extra calorie burn. And yeah, maybe I'd do some heavy compound stuff and then you'll finish off on the accessory machines. But she does make a good point. And also in terms of squats and things, like it's so easy to get injured doing that and your form's not always right. And if you're really loading it, like I don't really see the point in loading a squat if you're not a power lifter or you don't really care what you're like. Who cares what you squat? I know there's this sort of like egos and like bravado of like, oh, what do you squat? I can squat this. That wasn't below parallel and blah blah blah. And it's like, unless you're in a powerlifting competition, does anyone actually care? Like I couldn't care.
No,
No.
It wouldn't bother me if somebody said, "Oh, what can you squat?" I wouldn't be embarrassed to say it's pretty crap, actually. No, but I also ask my clients when they ask as well, should I be doing this? I say, well, do you enjoy it?
Yeah.
If they said no, I'd be like, well, then there's absolutely no point in you doing what you don't enjoy. And I get a couple of people saying, you've got a great shape to do this and that, and I'm like, yeah, but I don't like that.
What, as in like powerlifting?
Yeah, I get that quite a lot. They're like, do you want to do powerlifting? I'm like, no, I don't want to. I don't want to wear that one piece.
No. Well, I love a onesie. It couldn't be less flattering if it tried.
Yeah,
like,
it's not.
Even people with amazing physiques, like I've never seen any look good in one piece.
No, it doesn't seem to hug in the right places. It's not for me. No.
I used to row, so we had to wear them, and like everyone looks awful in them. Yeah. There's no getting it. It's just really bad.
No.
That's I asked the question, Marianne. I love a good question from clients. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Have you touch on before we end?
Not much else, nah.
No, I wonder if I've got a question. Okay, yeah, okay. One more thing. Someone called me trite yesterday, which I had to Google, but it kind of means, or I guess it wasn't completely directed at me, but like she said that personal trainers that talk about mindset are quite trite, which I think it kind of means samey, like the same stuff we've always heard.
Right.
And I actually agree with it because there's nothing new about like positive thinking. Like there's never going to be. And also there's hardly ever going to be anything new about health and fitness, really. Like there might be a few studies coming in that show like little effects here and here, but we do know at the end of the day, we're all saying in slightly different ways and using slightly different terms and slightly different approaches to eating less and moving more. So like everything people say is going to be quite samey. It's just kind of how they interpret it and how they put it across. But it was quite, yeah, do you know what? We probably are, like, as an industry, quite.
I've never heard that before. That's a new one for me. But yeah, you're definitely right. Everything, I mean, it's the same as like, kind of like sports massage as well. The body hasn't changed much. A quad is still a quad. It was a quad however many years ago. So yeah, when I'm posting up something in regards to like my rehabilitation work with clients, it doesn't change much. But it just needs, it's worded differently around the industry, really, isn't it? Yeah. Mm-hmm. People seem to be getting on this bandwagon as well with the motivational stuff as well, which I quite like, actually.
Yeah, I mean, I recently got really into it, but I found I don't know, like it as cheesy as it is, like changing your mindset will change your life. Like just how you do stuff. And, you know, everyone's in completely different situations, but it's what you do with that situation that you're in. And if you look at things as barriers, or if you look at things as, you know, just ways you can get around them. And if you want to find excuses, you'll find them. Mm-hmm. And if you have positions, you'll find them. And yeah, it's not new, it's not novel. It's a bit cheesy, but that's what it is.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm now a life coach.
Yeah, I love a motivational quote. My Monday motivational quotes, they're great. Yeah, they are good. But yeah, no, I know what you mean. It's definitely as like regurgitated information. But I don't think it harms you to go back and actually rewrite or reread something that you saw ages ago, because it's sort of like a reminder. You're like, oh yeah, I forgot about that.
And also, it's so easy to forget that, I work loads of different fat loss groups, and sometimes I'm like, oh, everyone knows this now, but they don't. It's the same people asking, well, different people asking the same questions again. Again, they still don't quite understand. It hasn't quite dropped yet, and you're like, oh, nobody needs to know about energy balance anymore. Like people know, but they don't. Like the basics still need to be taught, and they need to be taught in a way that doesn't sound trite or boring. Like if it sounds like you've said 5 times, which I have, then no one's going to listen because you sound boring as hell. So you have to think of a different way to say it. And they've probably been told the same thing, but it hasn't resonated with them.
Yeah.
So you find a way to word it that, or an example that is going to resonate with them. Yeah.
That's a post right there.
Right, I will let you get off. Thank you so much for coming on.
Cool, you're very welcome. Get Steve on.
I will, if you'll come on. It's big time.
Yeah, I'm going to come through and do a training session with you sometime, Dundee.
Okay, or I'll come through to you.
Oh yeah, well, yeah. I don't know what the gyms are like in Dundee, but you can come through to Edinburgh.